Thanks. The 4th anniversary of the U.S.-led war in Iraq is stirring up some strong feelings across the nation, as well as right here in Green Country. Channel 2's Rick Tillery shows how members of a local group made their voices heard. Rick?
Russ, earlier this afternoon, a contingent of anti-war activists delivered a visual message to Congressman Sullivan's office here in Tulsa to remember those who have died.
Specialist Robert Hendrickson.
These are the miniature coffins delivered today to Sullivan's office. They represent Oklahoma citizens killed in the Iraq war zone.
And I think it's time to, look back at what we have started, what we could have done differently.
Organizer Joe Piccarelli says he put this together not to demonstrate against the Bush administration, but to ask that we all remember the troops who have been killed.
Which ultimately ends up being anti-war because you can't see this many deaths and think that this should go on.
Donna Vogelpol came to support her son-in-law serving overseas in the Air Force.
But I don't want him going back. I don't want to deal with it again. I don't want to see him in Iraq again.
Reverend Mary McNally said a prayer for peace.
For the families of those lost in Iraq.
And also delivered a letter to Sullivan's staff asking they pass it on to the congressman. It touched on 3 points: a request to bring the troops home, stop using Halliburton as a contractor, and ending the war as soon as possible. She also wanted to make one other thing very clear.
Do not say that because we want peace, we don't support our troops.
Sullivan's chief of staff, Richard Hedgecock, stood and listened to each speaker and then made a very short statement.
We appreciate hearing from passionate constituents no matter what the issue may be, and this is great to have you all come and present this, and I appreciate personally the message.
There is also a memorial service planned for tonight at the Eastside Christian Church. It begins at 7 p.m.
As of this broadcast, 54 Oklahomans have perished in the war. For more information on this event, please visit theyarehomenow.com.
That's not the only thing that Joe's been doing this month. He also gave a speech concerning the connections between 9/11 and the current Middle East conflict.
Hello. It's a beautiful day today, isn't it, guys?
9/11 was the reason we are having this war on terror, the war in Afghanistan, and the war in Iraq, and soon probably to be the war in Iran. So without 9/11, we wouldn't have this war on terrorism. So I ask, why are we in Iran? Why are we in Iraq? And it's because of hate, and it's because of fear. And those are the reasons we're there. But I also want to know why we are here. Why are we out here today to stand up against these wars and try to bring our soldiers back? We're here because we have knowledge, we have compassion, and we have love. We know that they lied to take us to Iraq. Everyone knows that now. We have compassion for our soldiers. We want them to come home. And we love our country. And we've all been fighting hard to bring our soldiers back. And we came out and we voted in November. And we voted in a Democratic majority. And we hoped that they would bring home our troops. That's what we voted. We were trying to make a statement. But as we have seen, they haven't set a date to take the troops home. They haven't cut the spending so they would have to bring them home. And recently, they have just let them escalate the troop numbers. They're sending more troops to Iraq, more troops to Afghanistan. This should be a wake-up call. We all worked hard to vote these officials in so they would stop this war on terror and stop the war in Iraq and bring our troops home to safety so they can protect our country. This is kind of a wake-up to realize this is not a Republican or a Democratic issue. This is not right or left. This is right or wrong.
Hear, hear.
And apparently most of our elected officials are wrong because the military-industrial complex has taken over our government. They don't pay attention to their constituents. They're ruled by money. So we need to take back our country. We need to repeal Homeland Security, repeal the Patriot Act, and the Military Commission Act, which is trampling our Constitution, which our country was founded on. We're not going to fight like they do with bullets and bombs and hate. We're going to fight with compassion and knowledge and love. Because we know they lie, we have compassion, we want our soldiers home, and we love our country. Martin Luther King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can warmongers in D.C. that we're not going to accept their hate because we love our country. So, let's bring them home. We know they lied. We have compassion for our soldiers, and we love our country. So let's stop this war. Thanks, guys.
That was great, Joe.
Thanks, Wes. Thank you. And now we're going to throw it over to Rachel Lund for our Terror Forecast! Yeah.
Thanks, guys. So far as a nation, we've spent $400 billion on the war on terror. Here in Tulsa, that's $750 million. And in human lives, we have a death toll of 3,200 U.S. soldiers. That's 800 soldiers a year. Plus another 24,000 U.S. soldiers wounded in Iraq. You think that's a big number? 655,000 Iraqi civilians have been killed by U.S. military intervention. And for your terror level today, commercial flights are orange and everything else is yellow. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Rachel. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a little history lesson.